Last summer, I grew 55 pounds of potatoes in 60 square feet of lawn, which is behind me. That's where I grew my potatoes. And I'm going to quickly share my technique with you on how I did it and how I arrived at this process of growing potatoes. So here we go. Here's how we planted them. Basically, I took manure and topsoil and I laid it down on a marked out area on my lawn. It wasn't that thick, I just laid it down. And next we cut up the potatoes, as you do with most potato planting. Cut them up and randomly threw them out on top of the manure and topsoil. Some guys out on the internet have much more intricate designs and grid patterns for laying out their potatoes. This is just an experiment for us, so we just threw them out. After we had all of the potatoes laid out, we just simply covered them with a bit of dirt. Just cover them up with a little bit of dirt. Once we had the potatoes covered up with a bit of dirt, we threw on alfalfa hay. We'd managed to find some old alfalfa bales. They were quite old and full of dust and rotting. All we did was then take that and break it up and just sprinkle the hay on top of the dirt. Not too much, just enough to cover up the potatoes and protect it from the sun. You could probably use any type of hay. There is some suggestion that you could use straw. I know hay worked great for us. You can find hay with your local farmer. If you know one, there's a link below to a site that might help you find some. We then waited for the potato plants actually to grow. At which time, once the actual plants were out of the ground, we continued to cover it up with hay. It was quite dusty because they're old bales, so I used a mask, which I would advise. And we just covered as much of the plant as possible to make sure that the sun wasn't getting to the potatoes and the moisture was staying underneath. We did water, but because of the mulch on top, we didn't have to water as much. 2 years earlier, we had tried this and had not got great results. So come fall, we were interested in seeing how things would turn out. We started out with a pitchfork, which didn't work very well. We resorted to just digging by hand. Just feeling around, pulling up the straw and feeling underneath and finding potatoes. In the end, we got 55 pounds of potatoes off of 60 square feet. This technique worked really well. If you got any questions, leave me a comment or get a hold of me and I can answer them. Hopefully this helps. Good luck on gardening this summer.